It's time now to open the National Gold and Silver Refinery Rich's Treasure Chest, where Rich and Bob Walk dive into a story from a game in Montreal.
We had Spanky on a few weeks ago, and he was talking about an incident up in Montreal, and you weren't following. You were kind of doing your own thing because of chickens on the scoreboard and ignoring Hump. So.
Yes. I didn't tell you guys this last time.
No, we didn't bring this up.
No, we had to cut it off. Go ahead.
But Spanky did blame you for it, by the way.
Well, yeah, it had nothing to do. Well, Spanky, I'm sure, gave me the throw over sign, and I would always throw over a bunch on my own. And talk about a place where there was no fans and you could hear everything. Well, that's one of these places, and they would have this, like the scoreboard there wasn't like they have nowadays, or even like most places back then. All it was like, you remember in the old, went to school in the old days, they had the overhead projector where they used like a little grease pencil and write stuff, and you could see it projected on the white wall. Well, they had a similar thing, was what they used for their big message board out in center field. And they would have these chicken heads, not actual chicken heads, but like kind of like the head of a chicken, like cut out of some paper. And they would put it on, this seems so ridiculous nowadays. They would put them on tongue depressors. And every time you would throw to first, they would play over the PA, bark, 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 bark. And they would put these tongue depressors with the chicken heads in front of the overhead projector and start shaking them. And you would see one, and then if you threw over twice, there'd be 2 chicken heads, and then 3, and then so I'd thrown over there 4 or 5 times, kind of legitimately, although that's excessive, especially nowadays. And I started wondering, I'm standing on the mound, how many of these chicken heads do they have up there? They had to, how many did they make? 6 of them, 7 of them, So I started throwing over to see, okay, that's got to be it. Can't be no more. And I look back there, and I'd hear the bok, 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 and I look back at the message board, and now they got 8 heads up there. Now they got 9 heads up there. And I'm like, what the heck? How many of these do they have? And about that time, Mundo calls timeout, Ray Miller, and he comes to the mound. And he goes, you're driving the skipper out of his mind over there. What in the so-and-so are you doing? And I looked at him and I said, I'm trying to see how many chickens they got. And so, now I'm doing this. We got like a 4 or 5 run lead. So it's not like the game's on the line or something like that. And so I'm like, he laughed. He thought it was funny. And then he walks back to the dugout. And in Montreal, it's like 1 step down into the dugout. I don't know if you guys remember that. And so he's standing just a little bit above Hump, and I could see him talking, and I could see the hair going and probably some ashes from a cigarette or something. And then I see laughter from Skip. And I'm like, oh, he thinks it's funny too. So now I throw over another 3 or 4 times. Just for that, because now I think, I got the okay now. I started over there in the dugout laughing. That's okay. So I throw over and I put about a dozen or so up there. And finally, it was like, okay, they beat me. I can't do this anymore. And then years later, I'm up there when they were moving the team out, and the English-speaking, the newspaper, I think it was called the Gazette, they had a lot of memories written down. And one of the days we were up there, they had guys that put up the most chickens. And I'm like, oh my God, they actually kept track of that. And I was third on that list. I had the third. But now if I knew somebody put up like 16, I was like getting close. If I knew that I was actually got a shot to win this thing, I would have put up more chickens. But who knew they were keeping track after all these years?
Yeah.
But that's how the
but the story was, Jim called all the throwovers, to Spanky.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't like guys thrown over on their own. And after you threw about the third one, he told Mundo, go out there and tell him, blah, blah, blah. And then you guys start laughing and everything. And then to this day, Jim thinks it's one of the funniest things we've ever seen in the big league game. But only you could get away with it.
to see how many chickens there were.
So
But that was good.
so-
That was good. That's a good story. That's one of my favorites. It's kind of neat, and it just shows you how, when you got a team that's playing well and winning, and everybody's in a good mood, you can have a lot of fun out there and do a lot of different things. You just have to know when to be serious and when you can. Of course, that wasn't really affecting the game at all. It was just making everybody laugh.
Do you have gold or unwanted jewelry? Now is the time to sell. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton, West Virginia has expanded hours. Open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Fridays until 4 in the afternoon. With gold trading around $5,000 an ounce, now is the time to sell.